Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I wanted to do something a little bit different. I really wanted to just kind of sit down and talk to you guys a little bit on how I got started, both with, my hair career and cosmetology and how that ties into YouTube and basically why I even started doing YouTube. Also, I know that a lot of my viewers are either people that are just, started cosmetology school. I know that a lot of hairdressers watch my channel as well. And I think it's just always really fun to see how someone, got into a specific field. So anyway, that's what today's video is. So if you are interested, stay tuned and let's get into it. All right, so let's start at the beginning. From a very young age, I knew that I wanted to do hair. I think around 4 or 5 years old, where I would play with both my mom's hair and my dad's. My dad had super awesome long hair, so yes, I did play with his hair as well. And I remember putting bobby pins and clips in my dad's hair, and one day saying, I want to be a hairdresser when I grow up. And he was kind of like, all right, cool, I'm sure your idea on this will change a million times before the time gets here, but great. And I kept saying I want one of those chairs that you pump and it goes up, and that's what's keeping me from being a hairdresser. I mean, if I had that, I could totally do people's hair, and I was very, very sure of that. That was the only thing that was stopping me. Finally, years later, I got to attend the Redken Academy, and such a big dream of mine, because not only did I, go into the field of my dreams, I got to go to an amazing school, which I was very fortunate to go to. And I say that because I faced quite a few challenges and obstacles getting there, and I also one day want to share that with you guys. It's a very kind of personal story, but I definitely want to share that on YouTube one day when I'm ready. I just don't feel like I'm there yet. But basically that's one of the main reasons why going to the school and in the field of my dreams was such a big deal for me. So honestly, probably from the first couple of weeks in school, I just knew this is it, this is my calling. And it was almost cheesy and embarrassing in a way, but it was I never felt like I belonged somewhere so much, where I actually understood stuff, where the teacher's explaining something, I'm like, oh duh, I was wondering about that, not wait, slow down, that's so new. Wait, I don't get it. It was very everything they said, it was duh, of course, yeah, that totally makes sense, because I've been trying to do that toner with that, and now I know why that doesn't work. Now, that sounds so right. And to just feel that constantly, just it motivates you so much. And that's why I'm a big believer that you can go to the most amazing school, you can go to the best of everything, but if you don't have that natural calling for it, it's going to be a little more difficult for you. So, and that's, I think, with anything in life, if you're passionate about it, you can make great things. But in school, I was definitely never academic or book smart. And, at times that can make you feel really like you're not very intelligent. So to really, excel at something, and even in the bookwork section of cosmetology school, to really even do well on that part, the chemistry side of hair and all of that, because it was finally something that I loved and something that, visually I understood. So just, super inspiring, just super fun time in my life. So soon after I was done with school, I moved to San Francisco to live with my husband, Adam, and, starting to do hair, but now I had to move to a new city, and it's so different. And it wasn't very far from where I grew up, but the world of hair in every different city is so, so different. And I kind of knew that going in already, but I just have to say it's scary, it's competitive, I think the biggest part for me was I didn't have a network in this new city. So I didn't really have friends. I didn't have, it's different when you your web of friends and people that you went to school with. It's a lot easier to build a clientele when you have lived in a city for a while, as opposed to hey, I'm brand new here, I don't know anyone, send me clients. So it was really difficult. Honestly, the first couple of months, I lost money. I was just paying rent and not making any money. So, Adam was saying you know, we need to like combine our efforts. We need to do something to let, you know, the world know how amazing you are. And obviously I was like, oh my gosh, he's like my husband, so of course he's gonna say that. But so yeah, so that's where this brilliant idea was to, you know, to like put out videos. And honestly, we didn't think that this was gonna bring us clients by any means. We just thought, you know, like, let's, you know, like put videos out there. Even when I was applying to different salons, sometimes they were like, you know, a resume isn't much anymore, I feel, in the world of hair. So really showing, you know, like, what have you done with your skills? And not just hair, but, you know, what have you done publicly? And so Adam was like, you know what, you really need to like start like publishing kind of these ideas and, you know, making it public. So that's what we started doing. And I have to say, it was like the most uncomfortable thing. I am terrible in front of a camera. And Adam had a great deal of knowledge in lighting and camera and film and all of this, so we definitely had that, but my comfortableness behind a camera was not there. But, you know, we put out a couple of videos and, you know, sure enough, people started requesting more things and having questions and saying that blowout video really helped me and now my hair looks amazing. So we were like, okay, this is kind of working. Like, I know I sound and look terrible, but, you know, it's helping people, so this is great. So that was motivating. And honestly, from there, and here we are, and YouTube is a big part of my life now. So I have clients say like, I want to start a YouTube channel. I don't know where to start. Like, I don't have the right equipment. I need to lose 10 pounds, or I need to get better at this. And honestly, if that is something that you're thinking about, my only advice is just start. You don't have to be a professional when you start. You really don't. I mean, take like the biggest YouTubers on here and like look at their first video. You know, they had no idea. And it's okay to not have absolute perfection in the beginning. You grow. And I have to say, you become more comfortable editing yourself, you know, like watching yourself, and you become a better public speaker. That's definitely something I struggled with, and I do have to say that talking in front of camera is very different than talking in front of like a big audience, but it does make you more comfortable. What really helped me was imagining like I was talking to one person and someone I know. So kind of like, I have this point that I want to get across, I want to teach this, or I want to share this piece of information. How would I say it if my best friend was behind that camera? And that's kind of how I imagine it, or kind of like, that's the space I kind of put myself in, and that helps me so much, because instead of thinking of like different type of people, because sometimes I would think, if I say it this way, will this person understand? And if I say it a different way, will someone that's not a hairdresser understand? So I just imagine, you know, my best friend who's not a hairdresser and she doesn't know much about hair, this is how I would explain it to her. And I think it creates more of this comfortableness because I'm talking to my best friend. And honestly, that is how I feel, you know, talking to my subscribers. So I feel this like relationship that I create with the, you know, a mainly female audience is really, really interesting and really special to me. Maybe because I don't have sisters, but they're, you know, it's a fun community where we can just talk about girly things. And, you know, I get feedback from you guys, and some of it's not so creative, some is just critical. That just kind of comes with the territory. At the end of the day, you have to kind of ignore that and, you know, focus more on the people that I've helped. And at the end of the day, that alone should make it worthwhile for you. So, but obviously, you know, years later and the opportunities that YouTube has brought me, and at the end of the day, as an adult, if you are spending a ton of time on a hobby that's not paying you, you're probably not going to be able, you can't afford to do it as often. So the fact that YouTube has become, you know, a job or a career is amazing. And I know that a lot of subscribers, not mine necessarily, but in general, will say like, you know, YouTube is so sponsored and people like make all this money. But honestly, if there wasn't that, you know, money behind YouTube, there wouldn't be, you know, the content that is out there. And we all have to agree that there is some great content out there. There's so many things that I've learned to do, like from YouTube. Like, I don't even Google stuff anymore. I will YouTube it. So it really is an amazing community, like not just within the beauty community, but just YouTube in general. It's such a gift to really, we are so fortunate to have this kind of in our lifetime. And I definitely wish I had this, you know, growing up in like middle school. And I really feel like as an adult, like something has to be worth my while for me to really like be into it. And, you know, once YouTube started being a career for me, once I did start to get, you know, opportunities, and that sounds so opportunistic of me and so like I want to get something out of it, otherwise I don't want to do it. But at the end of the day, that's how life is when you're an adult. Like when Redken reached out to me for the first time and flew me to New York a couple of times, and you know, just things like that, that like you almost have to like pinch yourself in the moment, like, is this real life? Like, this is so amazing. And you know, it's all thanks to YouTube. Along with that, my new venture now with Monat, and this is just such a big part of my life right now, and it really, I feel like for me, it really kind of just blew up overnight. And again, just from the simple passion for this product, I never wanted to be a salesperson. I never wanted to be, you know, even involved with the sales part of this company. But as hesitant as I was and how slow I was about doing it, everyone that signed up through me and is doing so well, like I've mentioned in the past, doing so much better than I ever did in the beginning. And, you know, these people are getting paychecks. These people are eligible for such amazing, amazing perks. I mentioned in a couple videos ago that soon I was eligible for a brand new car, and that is coming at the end of this month, which is just so insane. Like I promised myself I wouldn't cry for this video. But I think a lot of this would make a lot more sense if you guys knew my whole background, which, like I said, I will be making a video in the future about this. And this company would not be growing at the rate it's growing if the products weren't amazing. And that's what it comes down to. It's so easy to grow in this company because the products are great. It doesn't even take, you know, you to sell this to someone, because it's like, just try this, and people are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So for hairdressers out there, if you are just working really hard, I know how hard it can be as a hairdresser. We work endless hours, we are on our feet, we all day run the risk of, you know, being not criticized, but you know, the second someone doesn't like what you did, you know, you're just always people pleasing. That's our job. With, you know, without health benefits, without, you know, a retirement, without so many things. So I feel like as hairdressers, we really need to have, you know, I don't necessarily mean like a second income, but you need to have something else that supports that passion so that you can continue to do hair. And like I said, for hairdressers, you're dealing with clients all day. And I don't know about you, but as a hairdresser, all of my clients are always looking for something that's going to better their hair. And a lot of times, sometimes as a hairdresser, you're kind of like, you know, there's so many new things, but there's not anything that has impressed me in months. So, you know, for there to be a company out there that finally is that for me, and I can see it being that for all of you, you know, that are hairdressers, and we do have this connection with our clients. So, you know, you can A, start using it on your clients, and B, referring them to start using this at home. And so you just have, like, people think that I have, you know, YouTube as a platform, but a real platform is, you know, you being the stylist, you being the person that's educating your client. It allows you to give them their dream hair. So I feel like it's definitely a win-win situation for everyone. And I do have to say, early on, even being in the salon, I got so many opportunities to work with companies like this for skin and for other things. And I got really close to working with a skin company because it really was amazing and I couldn't get over it. It was very expensive. And I used to always think, you know what, like, I talk to women all day long. Like, I could totally sell this because it works, you know? But I was like, it's skincare. And as great as that is, I'm not a skin specialist, and I can't recommend something unless I can back it up 100%. Like, any question you can ask me about the product, I know the answer to. And that's honestly what stopped me from doing it, because it was a great product. And it seemed very promising money-wise, but I couldn't do it because it wasn't something that I was 100% knowledgeable about and probably passionate about. So So I wanted to send a big congratulations to the girls that have signed up through me and are doing so amazingly well. I know that they watch my videos, so I wanted to give them a little shout out here. And yeah, just keep rocking it. You guys are doing so amazing. I'm so proud of you. So yes, just wanted to congratulate them, and it's never too late. If you guys are ever interested in joining as well, I will always leave my Monat info. And the best way to reach me and the person on my team whose name is Jill would be to join us on our Facebook Monat page. And there you can get, you know, more one-on-one with us regarding, you know, the Monat line and the business side of things. But for anyone just starting, you know, their cosmetology career or whatever it is that, you know, that you're into, you don't have to be into hair, obviously. I hope that this video has been somewhat, you know, inspiring, or, you know, has, you know, made you just feel that everything's going to work out. I have to say that my start into my career was definitely a rocky one, and at times I had so much doubt that I felt like giving up. I felt like this will never work. And, you know, and not just the everyday obstacles. I really thought that at one point, like, this is never gonna come true for me. So I hope that in no way was this video bragging, or that's so not me. Like, bragging like makes me cringe, so if I ever come off that way, please let me know. But I personally love to hear stories about someone that literally came from nothing, went through so many obstacles, and is now living the dream life, basically. And I'm not saying that I'm living my dream life yet. I mean, obviously I feel like this is just the beginning. There's definitely a lot more goals and dreams to be achieved. So I hope this video has motivated you guys, and if you have any questions regarding cosmetology school or how to get started or even anything on YouTube, do let me know. And a big congratulations to anyone that's in cosmetology school right now, and welcome to the most interesting field on earth. So anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.